Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to show you what is a Venn diagram and how it can be used to find a probability. Venn diagram helps us to visualize the relationship between different groups. It consists of overlapping circles. Normally, you will see two circles, but it could be more than two. Each circle represents the element of a group. The overlapping area shows the common elements of these two groups, or multiple groups. The area outside the two circles represents the elements outside these groups. The big rectangle outside these two circles represents the total sample size. Alright, let's take a look at this example. There are 124 Year 12 students at East Star College. 59 of them study accounting, 67 of them study biology, 34 of them study both. The question is asked you to calculate the probabilities that a student chosen at random will study accounting only. If we put this information into the Venn diagram, it will look like this. In the center of the Venn diagram, the yellow highlighted ellipse is the number of students who study both, which is 34. You can also recognize the 34 as the area of this ellipse. The blue circle on the left-hand side represents the total number of students who study accounting, which is 59. 59 can also be recognized as the area of this blue circle. On the right-hand side, again, is the total number of students who study biology, which is 67. 67 can be recognized as the area of this blue circle. Area outside these two circles can be considered as the number of students who study neither subject. At the lower left-hand corner, I wrote down the total number of students in this sample size, which is equal to 124. We have made a Venn diagram here, which represents the relationship between the number of students who study accounting and the number of students who study biology. To solve the question, students who study accounting only, we first have to find out the number of students who study accounting only. How we can do this? Just from inspection, the number of students who study accounting only seems like this section of the circle. Okay? And the way you do it is actually pretty simple. As I said, this 34, this 59 can be recognized as the area of this ellipse, as the area of this circle. And what we're looking for is this section of the circle. To do this, we can use this whole circle, which is the whole blue circle, take away this ellipse right here. We use 59, take away 34, gives us 25. 25 is the number of students who study accounting only. This is why we use Venn diagram. It helps us to transfer a complex probability question into a simple geometry question. After we get the number of students who study accounting only is 25, we sure can find out the probability that a student chosen at random will study accounting only. Here, we got the total number of students is 124. Students who study accounting only is 25. To find the probability, I simply use 25 divided by 124 times 100%, which gives me 20.16%. Now let's look at question B. Calculate the probabilities that a student chosen at random study neither accounting nor biology. As we did before, The number of students who study accounting only is represented by this part of the circle, which is 59 take away 34 is 25. 25 is also can be considered as the area of this part of the circle. We can use the same method to find the number of students who study biology only, which is represented by this part of the circle. The area of the big green circle is 67. Take away the area of the ellipse, which gives us 33. 33 is the number of students who study biology only. For those who study neither subject, we can still use the same method. The total number of students who study neither subject can be represented by the difference between this rectangle and the area of these two circles. The area of the rectangle is 124, which is the total number of students, and the area of these two circles can be represented by three different parts. The first part is the number of students who study accounting only. The second part is the number of students who study biology only. The third part is the number of students who study both. The difference between these two figures is the number of students who study neither subject. Now we have completed this Venn diagram. We transferred a complex probability problem into a simple geometry problem, and we found the total number of students who study accounting only is 25. The number of students who study biology only is 33. And we also found the number of students who study neither one is 32. Let's go back to question B. The question is asking you to find the probability that a student chosen at random study neither accounting nor biology. The calculation is pretty straightforward. You use 32 divided by 124, which is the total number of students, multiply them by 100%, which produce 25.81%. This is how we use Venn diagram to find the probabilities.